this video, I'll get you to link these to these. We've all come across learning pentatonics on the guitar, but the problem with learning them is that they don't seem to belong anywhere. Well, in this video, we discover that isn't true. Let's firstly dive into why it's useful to know where these pentatonics belong to chord-wise. The biggest issue I've come across when it comes to teaching scales is to understand where those scales go over which chord. A lot of the time when you first start having an interest in soloing and approaching the guitar with soloing, the default is to learn the 5 pentatonic shapes and not really pair them up with their chordal counterparts. This is problematic because it separates solo playing from chordal understanding. Back when I was learning pentatonics, I had no frame of reference as to where they belonged or how to use them in a song. And those chords would go by and I wouldn't know how to keep up with them and make those pentatonics fit with them. The good news is that this is addressed via the cage system, which brings us to our next topic. Since this video isn't purely about the cage system, we're going to just do a brief rundown and overview what the cage system is so we're on the same page. If you do wish to learn more about cage, the good news is that we have a lot more in-depth videos related to cage that you can check out over here. To summarize, the cage system uses major chords at the open position to visualize the fretboard, which a guitarist can use if they choose. These shapes can be altered into other chords, i.e. minor, dominant, and all of the other ones. The cool thing about the cage system is that if you have every letter of the word cage and you play the chords, they will follow each other in sequence. This enables you to see the bar chords across the neck. Let's move on to how to connect the pentatonic shapes to the cage shapes. First of all, let's talk about which intervals are in the minor pentatonic. We will start off with the minor pentatonic because it's the most commonly taught scale that's given to guitarists when they're first learning about soloing. In the minor pentatonic, we have the intervals root, flattened third, fourth, fifth, and flattened seventh. We have only 5 notes as that's what a pentatonic is. 5 notes from the tonic. Here are the 5 pentatonic shapes across the neck. may have learnt these as 5 pentatonic shapes, so it helps when we learn the major pentatonic shapes that they are the same shapes but they are shifted up one position. So the shapes play the same but the root notes and the intervals have changed. Now let's move on to major pentatonics. The intervals in the major pentatonic are root, major second, major third, fifth, and major sixth. Here is what the 5 major pentatonic positions look like across the neck. This is the base knowledge you need to know about knowing your pentatonics, but we do need to link them to the chords, so that when we play chord progressions, we can recognize these patterns quicker. And this gives us the chance to see how the intervals overlay over the chords, which informs you of how to have a better melodic context over it. Decent musicians will always be thinking about how what they're playing sounds like over that current chord that's going on in the background, which is why if we first lay out the caged in sequence over the neck in major chords, we can understand that from the root we can start to visualize which pentatonic belongs to which caged chord shape. Let's take a look at how the caged major chords look like over the neck in sequence. Then we match them with their respective caged major pentatonics. It would be good to practice knowing this information, and usually you'd play the chord first and then you would play the scale after to match them up. Now let's take a look at the minor versions of caged. Caged minor is just one note different in that it's only half a step on the major third down to the minor third, and that's how you get your caged minor variants. These alterations of the major chord within the caged system is how you get the other chords within the caged system. Here is what it looks like when you pair up the minor pentatonics and the minor caged chords across the neck. practicing these and knowing these is what will keep you on track to being a better soloist and a better musician on the guitar. I strongly believe that it's important to understand what's going on with the chord progression first before you start doing your soloing. That's because if you do not do this, what will happen is your playing will sound out of context, it will sound like it doesn't belong, and it just will sound generally like you're not in tune with what's going on with the music behind you. If this video has been helpful, please leave a like and comment below as it helps out the algorithm. And if you know anyone else who needs to see this video, do by all means share it with them too. My hope is that this video has helped you link the Pentatonics to the cage chord system as well. And because we are only 2 notes away from a full major scale, stay tuned and subscribe, as there will be a video coming soon that explains the major scale with the major chords of the cage system. So I'll see you in the next video, and ta-ta for now.